Hi there, I'm Andrea Koppel, and it's time for coffee, the podcast where you get to hear firsthand what the jobs and careers that interest you the most are really like. Hey there, Java junkies. Welcome to another K-Cup mini episode of Time for Coffee. By the way, K-Cups come in 3 sizes, single, double, and triple shots, or roughly 1 minute, 5 minutes, or 10 minutes in length. So if you don't have time to throw back an entire caffeinated career conversation, these K-Cup mini episodes of T4C can give you a quick caffeinated fix, whether you're on the go or you only have a few minutes to binge. So grab your mug and take a chug, because it's time for a caffeinated career double shot K-Cup with my guest, Bronwyn Saglimbeni. So you've alluded to intuition.
Yes.
And maybe another way of putting it is listening to your gut. I don't know if that resonates with you.
It does. It absolutely does. And this is, for the folks listening to this who are in college, it's such a time of growth and such a time of chaos too for a lot of us. Not everybody, but some of us, it's a very chaotic time. And what's crazy is at the same time as you're trying to make moves that line you up for the career you think you might want, because in college, we're just guessing. We don't know, In the midst of all that, you're also falling in love and you're meeting friends. And there's it's such an emotional roller coaster. And I remember my first big sort of gut punch of intuition. I was dating this guy and things were going great. And I could feel myself sort of starting to kind of lean back on my intensity in my studies. I was like, I'll just probably marry this guy and who cares? And I was standing in the shower having that thought. And instantly my gut said, are you fucking kidding me? No, you're not taking the foot off. Girl, wash your hair and get back to work. You are not that kind of girl. And I remember getting out of the shower and I was taking a really hard translation course with Professor Williams, who is still at San Francisco State. I remember diving back in and wrestling with this phrase that I needed to translate. And it was like there was this future version of me living in my gut that was like, get your act together, go back out and keep working. And that was the first one. And not long after, I was walking on campus at San Francisco State, and she was kind of a bitch. She was like, get your ass into the career center right now. And I was like, oh, okay. All right. And I walked into the career center and there was this dusty blue binder. I'm not even kidding. It was when internships were sent via fax. Remember those days?
Oh, yes. Them's the olden days.
I mean, this binder was 3 inches thick, and I just happened to flip it open and page through, and there was a yellow fax with the San Francisco mayor's office logo on it. And it looked ancient, but I said, what the hell? I'm just gonna call him, because that same future self that was kicking my ass was like, call the mayor's office. So I called the mayor's office and they're like, God, this is crazy, but this is our last day of interviewing. If you can get down here today, come on down. Literally, I zoomed downtown, interviewed, and I got the gig. And I was up against people from Stanford and Cal and people that really had their act together. But I did a good job in that interview. I showed up and I shined. And I ended up it was in the crossover. I did a year with Frank Jordan and about a year with Willie Brown, which was a really interesting time to be at the mayor's office. And those connections, those relationships, those skills that I developed in that section of my life are what set me up for the career I have now. Had I not listened to that voice that said, get back to work or make a right and go into that career center and see that ugly, hideous binder with that yellow piece of paper, make that phone call. If I hadn't been listening to that, I don't know where I would be. It's so crazy when you think about those moments. And for your listeners who are in college, your life is full of those moments because this is such a rich time in your life. So make sure you have just enough silence in your day to hear it. Because Andrea, when you and I were in college, there was no iPhone. I was walking around campus in silence because I didn't have an iPhone.
I didn't even have a Walkman.
Me neither. Right? It was like walking around. You were just alone with your thoughts. And if there's one thing I can say, some way to boost your intuition if you're listening to this and you're in college, or even if you're well into your career, we have to carve out time for being alone with our thoughts, as terrifying as they can be sometimes. Solitude is critical to being able to work with intuition. And I think it's a dying art to know how to be alone. And it's critical. It's critical.
Oh, Bronwyn, That was so powerful.
I'm so glad. It's true.
It is true. And I think what you said about the way that that first job that you just trusted your gut to apply for, that first internship, ended up affecting the rest of your life.
Absolutely.
It's such a powerful message, because rather than our young listeners getting super stressed about what am I going to do with the rest of my life, it would be so much healthier for you to save yourself all that angst. And after you've quieted your mind and listened to your heart and your gut about what you enjoy and what comes easily to you, sort of where your interests are.
Yep.
Think about it as this is a journey. And this first step that you take, it really doesn't matter where you start. It's about the people that you meet. It's about the experiences you have and the skills that you develop, the good and bad experiences that you have. And
that's exactly right.
Okay, so just take a deep breath and worry about that first step. And I don't want to even say worry.
Just
Think about
take
that
it.
First step.
And I do feel like, and actually I really hesitate to say this because I think this generation of college students is already so overwhelmed. So I don't want to speak out of turn because I'm speaking from my college self. But I went through a season of my life where I said yes to everything. If there was an opportunity that I thought I could learn from, I said yes. I just figured it out and I made it work. Was I exhausted and was I living on caffeine? Yeah, but I accumulated an incredible amount of hours of expertise doing random stuff because I knew I was gathering, it's like Malcolm Gladwell, those 10,000 hours. I said yes to everything. The Democrats are on campus. Do you want to register people to vote? Yes. The mayor's office, do you want to work this other event with the, Filipino American Association for their National Day? Yes. I was so profoundly busy my last 2 years of college because I instinctively knew this is how you outmaneuver the competition. I didn't go to Stanford. I didn't go to Cal, but you know what I can do? Make connections and gather experiences. So for that season, I said yes. Now I'm in a season of no. Now I have to meet, right? I have to say no more than I say yes. Otherwise, I'll literally explode. So, but I think sometimes in this culture of Netflix and binge, whatever, those hours are precious and they're where you can make gains and outmaneuver people who by all means have more privilege than you or that have more money or more status. You outmaneuver those people by saying yes to opportunities and making contacts with people that can help you in the future. That is how I did it.
Thanks for tuning in to this K-Cup mini episode of Time for Coffee. If you want to listen to our entire caffeinated career conversation, please check out the show notes for this episode. Thanks so much for listening to Time for Coffee, where the professionals in the jobs that most interest you always have time to grab coffee. 24/7, no matter where you live. I have one quick favor to ask you. Remember to rate, review, and subscribe to Time for Coffee. Thanks so much.